friends, it's Bella and welcome to Beauty on a Budget. And not a dupe day. I can't call this a dupe day. I've called it a high-end alternative day, and I'll tell you why. The new palette out now by Anastasia Beverly Hills is the Riviera palette. I love her palettes. I think the tones and everything go together beautifully. But this one is just not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea at all. It's very popular, but it's just not my cup of tea. Could I dupe it? Yes, I could dupe it. Have I duped it? No. I'll tell you what I've done. I'm going to put a picture up here of the Anastasia palette, and I'm going to put a picture up here of the one that I didn't buy. That's by Revolution. This is the one that I feel is the dupe. I would call this the dupe. Have I bought that one? No. This is the one I brought. And this is by Revolution, and it's called Creative. Now, what I wanted was a palette that I could use more often. I know the Anastasia palette has some lovely colours in it, but it's not a palette that I would use enough. I would, if I had a certain dress on or something, I would maybe get the accent colour. For me, it's not got enough looks in it to do the darker crease, and it's just not the colours that I would use. I think it's nice as an extra palette, but it's not one you could keep on your top, not for me anyway. So I did a little search like I always do, and I came up with this Creative palette, also by Revolution. And it's a beautiful palette, guys. Look at that, it's so lovely. It's all peacocks, can you see that? It's really lovely. It's called Creative. Now, let me show you the colours. So these are the colours. Now, you've got the oranges and the blues and the purples and the bright pinks. You've got those, but among those, you've also got very muted colours that you can use in alongside those colours. So you only have to use one palette. That's what I've done today. That's the look I've got on today with this palette. This is why I picked this one as opposed to the other palette by Revolution, because like the Anastasia palette, I just don't think I would use that enough. So anyway, let's see how I do this look and see what you think. Okay, so what I've been doing for quite a while now is, rather than put a shimmer or a lighter colour all over my lid to start with, right up to the brow, I use, this is a tatty packet, I use Rimmel Stay Matte in transparent, and I prefer that now. You know, things we find help as we get older, and I find that this as a base colour and coming in to the middle like this is more flattering for me now than if I was to put a base on. I always used Creme Brulee by Wet n Wild, but of late I'm quite happy doing this. Okay, so now for the colours. I've got in front of me on my iPad a picture of the two palettes together. The Anastasia one and the one that I'm showing you. And I'm going to try to pick out the colours. Now, as I said, I picked this other one because I've got a lot more choice. But because I want to sort of it's certainly not a dupe by any means, but because I'd like to compare and show you a similar look, I'm going to go for the nearest colours that I can find, or a very similar look to what will be in the Anastasia palette. So first of all, I'm going to go in with this one here, and I will put a little thing above what it is. And it's got a mirror if I show you too much. And I'm going in with my usual brush, and I'm just going around the crease with that. Very, very, very pigmented. Wow, that's pigmented. Let's get the bigger brush straight away, because that's really pigmented. Okay. So I've got the mirror here in front of me. And we're just pulling that up. Beautiful. Beautifully. It works absolutely amazingly. It's very pigmented though, so be careful. I think I just went in a little bit too hasty on the brush. So be very, very careful. It is mega, mega pigmented. So as I said, I'm going for an orangey brighter look today, which is a little bit more outside my comfort zone. Which is, as I said, why I probably would never invest in the Anastasia palette anyway. But that's just my choice and my taste. It's a very, very popular palette. It's very popular on YouTube. And they are beautiful colours. There's no doubt that they're beautiful colours. But it's not a palette that I think, by any means, you could use on its own. So again, be careful, because this is just tip your corner of your brush in. I learnt with the other eye. Okay, the next one I'm going for is more of a brown, because that is really mega bright, isn't it? And this one's called Flawless. And this is going, just got my mirror here, and this is going below that other colour. See what you think, guys? You know, when I do these looks, guys, it's just sort of showing you what I do, and you might be interested in that. But I don't take it any way that it's a tutorial, because I'm not a professional makeup artist. I've had no training as a makeup artist. I'm just going further down, not so up. And I don't feel I've got any right, really, to say to you, this is how to do it. All I can say to you is this is how I do it. And we blend that in. No fallout so far at all. Okay, so that's those two blended. Now, if I put in little photographs, you can see, comparing the two palettes that I'm using. What I would normally use now is a darker colour in my crease, a darker matte colour in my crease. I don't like to bring out a lot of palettes at once. On my vanity, I keep very versatile palettes that have got lots of different tones in, but that I can get a look out of. I don't think this, again, I always say this is just my opinion, but I don't think I know I couldn't get one look out of the Anastasia palette. I couldn't, because apart from the brown in the corner, which is still not the colour that I would be looking for, it's not really. They're lovely shades. But this is the sort of palette, if I was wearing something, if I got that one, or I got the equivalent Revolution one, it's a sort of palette, if I was wearing something, I needed an accent of colour, I think, oh, I know it's in that palette, and I'll get that out for that. But it's not a palette that I could keep on the top and use for everything, where this one is, because there's a lot of colours, so I could use this and get lots of different looks. You could get lots of looks out of the Anastasia palette, most certainly, and her palettes are beautiful, no doubt about that. But of all the palettes she's brought out, and they're fabulous, this one is just not for me. It's just not for me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a colour called Magic Trick, which is a navy blue. It's not in the Anastasia palette, so I would have to get a blue from another palette. But let's just, and I'm going to go very low like this, just very, very low. And keeping that low like that. You know I like to make that little shape, guys. Like that. This is a lovely pigmented palette. Beautiful. And then I'm going to get a brush like this. And I'm going to blend that into the warmer tones. So that's my navy blended in. Then I'm going to get that aqua, actually it's called Magic Trick. And then I'm going to put that very finely under my lashes. And I'm going to meet that outer edge. I'm really impressed, guys, because I've got no fallout whatsoever. And I mean, this is a, you know, navy blue is just emphasising the outside. And carry on working that. So when I've done that, I'm going to take, and that's all blended, I'm going to take a little bit of the abstract and I'm just going to tidy that edge up so that there's no definite edge. Same the other side, so there's no, you know, there's a transition, definite transition between the two. Okay, so next we're going to take, I think it says dexterous, I can't actually pronounce it. And I'm going to put this, it's a very orangey one, or peachy, it's not all bright orange, it's peachy. And I'm going to put that all on my lid. I need to look close up for this, guys. All on my lid. You don't want an actual cut crease. Well, I don't anyway want an actual cut crease, but I'm still going on those lines, you know, where it's definitely staying on the lid. Right into the middle. This one's not as pigmented, but it is still very pigmented. Just the others were like crazy. Okay. Sorry guys, can you see what I'm doing? Always try to take my time. So then you've got that on those lids. And then I'm going to take the one in the corner. Just let me make sure there's something similar to it in the Anastasia palette. The only one that I haven't got that's really, really different at the moment is the navy. The navy is not in the Anastasia palette, but I couldn't work a look. I couldn't. I mean, I know there's lovely ladies on here that do fabulous looks with it, but I couldn't personally work a look that suited me with just those colours. So I'm going to go now for I'm going to go for the one in the corner that's called Possession. And this, let's put it on with a thing to show you easier, is a shimmer. And I'm just going to put that in the centre of my lid, like this. And work it out a little bit. Down in the centre like that. If you want this more intense shimmer. Just put a little bit of setting spray on your brush, but I don't particularly. Okay, and then I'm going to work that in with my finger. I do like this palette. I mean, I purely bought it. It's not one that I would have gone and bought. I bought it because I wanted something that I could work with the Anastasia palette or compared to it. But I didn't want, as I said, I didn't want to get the other one because I'd have had the same problem with that as I would have with the Anastasia palette. There's just not enough contrast in there. For me to work with. So that's it. That's that done. Make sure finally that's all nicely blended. I know I drive you nuts up, I have to do it. And I will put the rest of my makeup on and I'll be back. Okay, so can you see where I'm coming from, guys? That it's the palette. I like this palette because I think it's more versatile. I think I'll get a lot more use out of this palette as opposed to buying the other one and it going in the back of the drawer until I need a certain colour. The quality of Anastasia is outstanding. I love all her other palettes. The Soft Glam palette is beautiful. I love her other palettes, but this one is just not for me. So I've tried to find an alternative. If you're like me and you want a real dupe, if you want a real dupe, go for the other Revolution palette. But if you want the same sort of looks or be able to get the similar sort of looks, but maybe add a little bit extra for dimension or in the crease or outer corner, you want something a little bit more to define it, then I would say this look is for you. I mean, there's nothing to say you can't do that with the other palette, but you would have to take out, or extra palettes to get those other colours, and I honestly rather work with just one palette. So that for me, got the lovely big mirror. I love that look. I love Revolution, I do. And I think that's absolutely lovely, that palette. It's all peacocks. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Okay, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you see where I'm coming from and why I didn't bring you the actual dupe, because it's just the way I thought about it. Should I buy the actual dupe and, show them the looks? But I know they would have been looks that wouldn't have worked for me. I know I would never have used palette hardly ever again. So I thought maybe some of you are like me and thinking, oh yeah, that's lovely, it's an Anastasia palette, but how am I going to use that? I just thought, I'd bring you in an alternative to what I think for me is the better deal because of all the other colours in it. So I hope you enjoyed that as always, guys. I'll see you in my next video real soon. You take care of yourselves and I love you all. Bye.